My guest today is a dear friend. Those of us who have known his work over years, those of us who run to Terra Culture, you know, or any other musical he appears in, I've known him as one of the A-listers when it comes to Nigeria's theatre. He has been the biggest productions from Heartland the Musical to Moremi the Musical. But in December of 2022, he parachuted to the very top of the mainstream in TV and film with star turns in the blockbuster hit Far From Home and the blockbuster hit Battle on Booker Street. My guest is Moshood Fattah.
You know this thing about fame, people act like, oh, I don't really want to be famous, and they get famous and they really love the fame. I'm not that person. I am not that person. I am grateful for the success, but I'm still not comfortable with being famous or being the person who walks into the room and everybody's like, oh, that's the guy who... No.
Now, Moshood has always been amazing, always been incredible, always been incredibly talented. And of course, he went to school to read this thing. First degree in performing arts, second degree in creative arts. Where did you feel like you had to do a master's?
Honestly, I didn't want to do a master's.
Okay.
I'm an only child. And I think being an only child, there's this pressure on you to be everything. You have to be the one who's educationally accomplished, who's married with kids, who has to do everything because they don't have anybody else to look forward to fulfill them in that manner. So they wanted me to, they still want me to get a PhD.
What? Is that going to happen?
Honorary.
How comfortable is it for him, as somebody who just wants to be grounded and doing the work, to not have to make do with social media and publicity and PR, which are the currencies of the age? And how exactly did he survive a professor who told him in front of his entire department that he was both a fool? Which
makes no sense because I was killing it academically and it just felt like he had to just show me paper. So like every chance he'd get to just like kill my self-esteem in public or in private, he would go for it. I remember one time we had a departmental meeting or something, and then I asked the question, it was like, who's that fool? And like the entire hall just gasped, like, oh, God. And that just broke something in me. At the time, like, why is he coming for me?
He called you a fool in front of the entire class.
Yo, it's crazy. The entire department. Entire department.
Wait, your professor called you a fool in front of your entire department?
Yeah. He's dead, by the way. I'm living, so clearly I was. Anyway.
And the disappointment to being one whose talent has been universally acclaimed by anybody who has watched anything that he has been in. In between, we talk about why people think he's arrogant.
People think I'm arrogant.
Yeah, people think that.
And I think that happened because people didn't know my background, so they didn't understand where my confidence was coming from. It's like, so who is this guy? Why is he acting like this? Who? Yeah. We don't know who I am or where I'm coming from. We just assume that, oh, because if someone else who was maybe more famous or more accomplished or wealthy had the same level of confidence that I had, they wouldn't call it ego. They'd be like, oh yeah.
Yes, that's what it is. Why he was not part of the Far From Home publicity?
Never said this before.
Right.
Far From Home came out and people weren't seeing me in promo and stuff.
Yes, I was shocked.
I was shocked. And then some guy in radio calls me and is like, Moshood Fattah, I'm not seeing you in stuff. Funny enough, I was talking to someone who said the reason why I didn't put you in stuff was because you demanded to be called Mr. Fattah on set.
Okay.
And I'm like, no, I've never demanded to be called that on set. Like any actor wouldn't want to be called their real names on set. You want to be called your character name so you can stay in that mind space. So that is, and then the person goes, oh, and that's the reason why they didn't put them. And now that never happened. Yeah. I mean, it hurts, I won't lie, but what can I say?
And whether or not he looks up to the oldies in the industry.
I think a publication asked me a question recently. They said, why don't young actors look up to, God, why don't young actors look up to Nigerian actors as role models? And I said, because there's nothing to look to. And that's not a shade.